Good afternoon. And so what are you up to now? You have some things on your mind? Co-creation at its best? Expansion of the universe? Clarification of where you are in relationship to something you want? Fine-tuning? Most of all, opportunity to calibrate to who you really are. And so we can tell no warm-up is necessary. You're pretty much tuned in to all of this. So just hold in your mind what is most important to you and watch it unfold right before your eyes. And answer that telephone. And then turn it off.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm up here. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
There must have been some level of belief or you wouldn't be up here.
That's right.
Sometimes your words are not accurate.
I so appreciate being here.
That we believe.
I've often wanted to raise my hand, but I was a little bit not sure if I would be able to word things the way I was thinking.
Of course you can.
So my question is, been on my mind for a while. I live in the Los Angeles area, and not too far from where I live, about a couple months ago, there was a helicopter crash. And 9 people made their transition, and one of them was a pretty well-known basketball player. And I know that we create our own reality, but
enough said. But I don't know why someone would create a reality that I would not choose.
Or how that so many people, 9 people who supposedly went off on an adventure that day.
So you're questioning the law of attraction?
I guess it seems...
The most important factor in something like this, and we get it. We get how that kind of thing is confusing, and we also understand how most humans feel about the death experience, which we like to use disrespectful words for it because there is no death, there is no ending. But that's the most significant place to start on this subject, is that a reemergence into non-physical is a continuation. And at many levels of your being, you understand that. And the thing that prevents most people from being deliberate about their own personal creating is that they try to calculate or understand things that are happening to others that you don't have vibrational information about or emotional information about. The most significant thing that happens in your physical environment, Esther was having a conversation with her daughter recently. They laughed quite a bit because Esther was talking about offering a vibration and words that are the same. Because we've been talking about if you don't own where you are, you don't know where you are. And sometimes you use the words so often and then you use logic to begin to accept the words that you're speaking, even though your vibration is different than the words that you are speaking. So Esther used the expression that sometimes your lyrics don't match the music. And then they began talking about it and acknowledging what that really means. And we talk about it in the sense that what you really mean and what you say, or what you really mean and what others think you really mean, are often not the same thing. So it's only when something manifests in your own experience that you are able to understand the vibrational accuracy between what you've been thinking and how you've been feeling and what manifests. And there is never an exception to that. Now, we could spend the rest of your physical lifetime, and we're not about to, because none of it is any of anyone's business except those who are living the experience. And still you could not really understand the vibrational intricacies of what different people are creating for different reasons. First thing that happens with humans is that your assumption is usually that when there is a death experience, that something has gone wrong. So then the assumption is there must have been some sort of negative attraction. The death experience is not a negative attraction. Sometimes you come into the experience not intending to spend a long time in this physical body. In other words, there are intentions that you hold coming in. You have source energy intentions. And so the most important thing, and we can tell you what we know, and you can sometimes accept it just because you respect what you're hearing from us, and we don't want that to be the reason that anybody accepts anything. We want you to pay attention to what you're thinking and feeling, and pay attention to what's happening in your experience, and understand there is always an exact match. And once you show that to yourself about your own life experience, then you can accept that about the life experiences of others, and then you don't waste so much time speculating why this happens or why that happens or why this happens or why that happens. Do you know how many things are happening? Do you know how much time you could spend just trying to contemplate why that's happening or why that's happening or why that combination of things are happening? We've been saying recently that you come to a gathering like this. There are often 1,000 or so people in most gatherings that Esther is presenting these days. And you see Esther presenting Abraham, and for some, they're new to the experience. They don't really even understand the spiritual or non-physical connection. So Esther seems confident, and she is verbally very deft and conceptually very clear. And so it's not hard to grasp the concepts. But you may just think it's another opinion, which you can take or leave, which it actually is. It is our understanding of things, which you can take or leave. So it may not be impactful on your experience. But if you take the time to get in touch with how you feel about things, and then you do the work to improve the way you focus for the singular reason of improving the way you feel, what happens to you is you tune into that higher frequency more often, where more insight is flowed to you, and most important, you are the receptor or the receiver of more of that insight. So then you are more adept at noting the vibrational accuracy of your thoughts and the manifestations that ensue. Then you personally are able, from your personal experience, to take chance out of the equation, to take statistics out of the equation, and you begin to understand that you are the creator of your own reality, and so is everyone else. And when you are able really to leave it at that, you will save yourself endless hours of needless and inaccurate speculation about things. Most people are looking at things like that, and we understand, guarded, not wanting experiences like that. And it's from that guarded perspective that they try to understand, well, how could that happen? How could that happen? When 9/11 happened and the buildings came down and so many people in those places having a similar experience, there were a lot of people that are wondering, well, how could that be? And Esther began receiving notes from different people in the area, and there were so many letters that said, I just didn't feel like going to work that day. Or my child had a stomachache and so I did not go. In other words, there are all kinds of things when you're tuned in and receptive to what you are feeling that guide you to be in the right place at the right time. But really, there is no wrong place ever to be. And so if you just don't take score about things, you can live happily ever after, or you can worry about each and everything that is presented to you, and you can squander the joy that life is offering to you and never have a good time ever in the fear of something that you don't want might happen to you or somebody that you care about, you see. And the thing that is important to know is that your inner being is never, ever, 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 ever doing that. And when you do, you don't feel so good. But having said that, we encourage all of you to do the best you can at soothing yourself. And we always say, follow your path of least resistance. It's like someone says, should I get insurance? And we say insurance is not something that is a yes or a no, you should or shouldn't have it. But if you feel better in the having of it, then the path of least resistance for you is to have it. If it feels unnecessary to you and someone is forcing you to get it and you feel resistant about having it, then the path of least resistance is not getting the insurance. But let's say that it is mandated. Let's say that it is required. Let's say that you will go to jail if you don't have it. Now what's the path of least resistance? Get the insurance. You just have to feel your way through these things and let it be an experience of you examining your vibrational gap, not everyone else's. That will make you nuts.
Right.